This is a toy spot on DC Universe, the Gorilla Grodd series, Wave 2, Blue Superman, or just Superman. Now, let's get a look at the package. Before we actually look at the figure itself, surprisingly, if you could actually believe it, this was one of the figures I was looking forward to getting. And I'll talk more about that when I get the figure opened up. But like I said, let's look at packaging first. A very familiar starburst effect in the background here. And it features all the characters from this wave: Firestorm, Aquaman, you got Harley Quinn, and Superman in the background. Explosion works as it always does. I don't know which review I said this, but it would be nice that maybe for the villain releases, the back card was like a purple or a blue instead of orange. One, it separates the characters, so I mean, not all the packages look all the same. And second, it probably helps parents and stuff who are looking for toys for their kids. They know that the purple or the blue are the villains, and then that the orange is the heroes. Yeah? I'm thinking sometimes. So there's the package on the back. Other figures in this wave: Harley Quinn, of course, got the Superman here. We got Black Manta, Firestorm, and we've got Aquaman. A nice array of figures. While I was slightly disappointed with the Harley Quinn, the Aquaman certainly made up for it. The Black Manta also was a real seller, even though the paint scheme wasn't quite as good as it could have been. But overall, really, the figure wave is looking really decent. The biography on the Superman says Superman's awesome abilities were sapped completely by the star-consuming Sun Eater. An attempt to reinstate his powers transformed the Man of Steel into two energy beings, the rational Superman Blue and the hot-headed Superman Red. Eventually, the equal but opposite Supermen were merged following a battle with the Millennium Giants. As the single Superman absorbed the rays of Earth's yellow sun, he was restored to his superpowered self. And the first appearance of Superman here is Action Comics #1. The downside, though, with the statistics, it would have been nice if they did the first appearance of the blue Superman. Blue or the red. Not necessarily of the original Superman. But at any rate, they've got Action Comics #1, June 1938. Real name Clark Kent Kal-El. Occupation superhero. Reporter for the Daily Planet. Base of operations in Metropolis. And his special abilities: travel at light speed via bolts of energy, able to see radiation wavelengths, change his appearance, create tractor beams, repulsing energy fields, or fuel a power punch. Obviously, those are all special abilities to the blue Superman, not so much the original Superman. So again, it would have been nice first appearance if they had actually put the first appearance of the energy Superman, not the original. At any rate, though, what we'll do is we'll get the package opened on the Superman here, and then we'll have a look at the figure. So don't go anywhere, guys. Be right back. Alright, guys. Superman is now out of the package. For those who's following this, for those who's got a checklist, Superman comes with the left arm of Gorilla Grodd. And much like what I've done with the other reviews, I'll take the left arm of Gorilla Grodd and I'll add it to the armless Gorilla Grodd. Snap that into place here. Alright, so your checklist, you can check off now left arm, and Gorilla Grodd is for the most part complete. The only thing he's missing is his leg. Is he going to be a threat? We don't know. He still needs his leg. So Gorilla Grodd is almost finished. We'll move him aside and we'll look at very cool blue Superman. And I said I was going to talk about this once I got the figure out of the package. A very nice looking Superman, and actually on the black he stands out really well. He stands out really well indeed. Got a little bit of paint on the side there that's chipped or stuck on him. Oh well. Being a considerably big Superman fan, especially growing up, I actually welcomed the change in Superman's outfit. And I know that, I think to this day, the blue and red Superman still stand out as one of the worst costumes or worst decisions they've ever done to a character. Certainly, they've done a lot of bad decisions with Spider-Man, but I know a lot of people didn't like this costume. I, on the other hand, actually like the costume quite a bit. And I know there's always going to be a time that a superhero gets a makeover, and they always try to do something different with the character. Now, where I like the costume here is that if we take, for example, Batman, when Batman's got his back broken and Azrael took over for him, what I thought they always gave him a really terrible looking costume. And the trend back in the day, everything had to be souped up with straps, little belts, and armor and stuff like that. And while they could have done that with the new interpretation of Superman, they actually went for something completely different. And it wasn't just Superman with a different shield or a different cape, or stripes or streamers or something like that. They went for something completely different, and they made this energy Superman, and they changed the logo and everything else. And we always knew the original Superman was always going to come back. I mean, whenever these characters are introduced, we always know the originals are always going to come back. But I always thought this was a nice welcome change. It was something different, and it was something very different, like very different from the regular Superman. He had different abilities, completely, like I said, a completely different look. And for that reason, I really like this figure. And actually, I was really looking forward to getting this figure. Now that he's out of the package, and now that I've wasted 3 minutes talking, as you can see, the detailing on the figure is really nice. It's got the blue, and I've still got that little sliver of something. I think I got it off. It was just like a piece of paint or something on this figure. There we go. I think I got it off. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the figure. Granted, its color scheme really only is like blue and white, and then as you can see, he's got a lighter colored face. But I think it works really well on the figure. It works really well, actually. And I'm almost going out on the fence here and saying that the blue Superman here and the Aquaman are probably my favorites from this line. I know I've already said it already, but really, really nice, a nice looking figure. Now he has, as you can see probably the whole time, he's got these energy, like these energy emissions coming out from his shoulders here. It looks to me like they've pegged it into the location where his cape goes, and I don't think you can actually remove it. It looks like it's pretty much stuck in there. Yeah, it's stuck in there. But what's neat though is that the back of the figure actually has a Superman S, and then the S is what's radiating these energy beams. He also has energy attachments that you can snap onto his arms, which I like the fact that you can actually remove them, because it may be too much to have it on all the figure's parts, but I think it's kind of neat to have it on there. The only downside is you kind of have to turn them a certain way to get them to sit right, because they tend to be a little loose. But as you can see, there's Superman with all his energy fields, or energy, whatever you want to call it. But a really, really nice figure. I'm really surprised. I really am not that surprised how much I'm really digging this figure. I also want to point out too that the face looks, and I might be a little wrong, but it looks like it's the same face that carried over to the later released short-haired Superman. Looks like it's the same mold, and I might actually have to check that a little later. But in the way of his articulation, we'll just take these energy fields off, these energy waves, and he's got the same articulation in the shoulders. Bicep swivel, you can bend at the elbow. You can rotate the hand. Obviously, you can bend the head quite easy. It's a ball-jointed hand, or ball-jointed head. He's got the mid-torso joint. You can rotate the waist. You can bend the legs, front and back. You can rotate the thigh, bend at the knee, and bend at the foot. So, very standard. There's nothing really different about it. But look how awesome that's a good pose. I might even keep it in that pose. Overall, a really great figure. The figure was also released in the Superman Red, which surprisingly enough actually is not the exact same mold. We'll get into that though as I review the Red Superman, which I'm actually going to review as a separate figure. But overall, I'd give this figure a really strong rating. I'd probably give him about a 7 or even an 8. Clearly one of my favorite from this wave. Between this one and the Aquaman, a really good solid wave, and I can't recommend this figure enough. It may not be for everybody, especially for some Superman purists, but a great figure nonetheless. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was the Gorilla Grodd, or Wave 2, and that was the Blue Superman. And I'll see you guys next time. Later.